half of it was spent on drugs, women and alcohol, and the other half I just wasted. It was December the 10th, I believe, 1988, we put our first Genesis party on. We got 3,000 people there the first week. Following, which was like Boxing Day, we went back there again, Christmas Eve. We got like 4,000 people. Then we went back in there, New Year's Eve, and we hit the jackpot. You know, we had 6,000 people. It's conservative fee, 120, 130,000 pounds for the weekend. In today's rate of inflation, that could probably be looked at as maybe £250,000 a week.
People wanted to party, and Pritchard made it happen. He mobilised legions of revellers to descend upon unsuspecting villagers in their thousands. The government tasked Ken Tappenden with the tough job of breaking up the party.
The organisers were better than we were. I only wish I had them as my lieutenants, because they were brilliant.
18, 19-year-old taking all this money, you know, having all these girls, having all this amazing, like, you're treated like celebrities.
Andrew is no stranger to running complex operations. He made his name in the music industry, promoting A-list artists and staging major music events. The Sunsplash Festival attracted over 50,000 revellers.
Welcome, baby. How you doing? Always wanted to meet one of the Spices, you know.
The secondary school I went to was Philip Magnus. It was can be described as the breeding ground for criminals, like you have Oxford or Cambridge, where barristers and, you know, lawyers go to. Philip Magnus basically managed to breed some of Britain's most notorious criminals. He bunked off every single day, building speaker boxes, amplifiers, buying records. And by the time I was about 16 years old, I found myself actually putting on my own events. What we'd done was quite illegal, because we'd go into squats or properties, make a makeshift bar, buy alcohol, sell alcohol with, of course, no licence, and put on events and charge people £3 admission. That was the route I knew I was going to go on. I loved music at that point, and I knew I could make money out of being involved in the music industry.
For more information and the information hotline, please stay tuned. Genesis Live and check it.
The raves were a moment in time, and as they died out, Andrew turned to smuggling. His luck ran out when he was caught meeting half a ton of cocaine with a street value of £100 million.
Customs officers say they've seized over half a ton of cocaine in a shipment of coconuts from Guyana. 6 men were arrested in the operation in East London last night. The drugs have a street value of £100 million.
So basically, my first kind of interaction with smuggling, I think, was when we went on holiday to Jamaica, and I was about 6 or 7 years old, and we were coming back through the airport basically, and I remember our luggage being incredibly heavy. And when we got through customs and got home, I remember Mum and Dad taking out the 2 suitcases and opening them, and they were full of bottles of white rum, which was normal practice because people would smuggle food through, things like that, because, you know, it's something you wanted. I had extended family basically who were high-level smugglers, and they kind of were able to give me the protection that I needed, and the access to gateways, to the docks, and the introductions to all the major sort of players.
How it works is very simple. Customs officers are paid, flag a container so as they secure it, so as no one else can trouble it. It's held by their team, passes through X-ray, which their men work on the X-ray, and it's released, and that's how it's done.
We had a large importation arrive, and the customs officers who we had paid off, who were working for us, who were supposed to clear the containers, did what they were paid to do, but another team of police officers had one of my associates under surveillance. So they rocked up at the wharf after something they'd heard on a phone tap and started pulling open containers that had already been cleared.
Customs claim that Andrew's arrest was the result of months of international undercover and surveillance work, codenamed Operation Cyprus. They had tracked the container for months through the Caribbean, monitoring all those they thought were involved in the smuggling operation.
In London, they were on to Andrew Pritchard and his associates, trying to anticipate when they would move. When Andrew came to meet the consignment, Customs made their move. He was caught red-handed, just outside the market. It seemed this was a cut and dry case.
Hands up, I'm a smuggler. You know, I'm not going to turn and say I'm not. I'm a villain. I smuggle containers. It's what I do. I'm not a drug smuggler. From the beginning, it was always about smuggling cigars.
The prosecution said you were a mastermind, a fixer.
Prosecution say I was going to be taking my cocaine. According to them, to have pressed, to double the amount of it. Oh yeah, they say not only did I organise it all, they said I also was responsible for distributing it as well. A lot for one man to do, isn't it?
To be honest to you, my mindset was completely, when I think about it, insane. Because being arrested, I'd been arrested for the biggest drugs importation in British history. And it was all over the news. And as a criminal, this is how insane it is, I actually felt, yeah, proud. Because at least I've been nicked for something massive. Not thinking, if I go to prison, I'm going to go for 35 years. You're thinking that, you know, whatever it is, no one's done it bigger. What it done to my family was terrible because the realisation of what I'd been arrested for hit them and affected them, you know, and as I said, that damage was irreversible. At the end of the day, when the wheel comes off, which it inevitably will, you're left with nothing. I'd ended up in prison at an age which wasn't a great age to go to prison because I was over 40. So I kicked myself for that, but you know, it was a bittersweet situation because what I took from this sentence was that I was able to really reflect on what I'd done, you know, and I looked at it, I'd never thought before I was destroying lives, but I thought to myself, I've destroyed thousands of lives here, but doing what I was doing for all these years and getting away with it, the consequences of all the people who became drug addicts, the destruction they had on their families, you know, and everybody else in that chain, you know, and the wider parameter that had suffered because of me wanting to live a great lifestyle, you know, these people were living lives of misery. And I'd come to a realisation with that and I wanted to do something about it. And for the first time, I can honestly say I actually decided to change. Well, the AP Foundation basically was formed on my release from prison, and the aim of it is basically to offer 5-step progress for people, you know, young people getting involved in intervention before they get themselves into trouble or into prison, dealing with people who are in prison in terms of rehabilitation, offer courses, offer skills, offer training, and those 4 steps, skills, training, intervention and rehabilitation are key, but the 5th most important thing is housing. You know, where you're put. Are you put back on the same estate where you're just coming from to mix with the same people to get back into the same problems? No. You know, the change needs to be made now. My hopes and aspirations are basically to make a difference. If you can change one life, it's an accomplishment. Because everyone deserves a second chance in life, because everyone and anyone can make a mistake, and sometimes you can make a mistake more than once.
Can you resist a good deal? The white boy gene, the Del Boy gene, you've got to curb that. Never in a million years, the answer to that. Of course I'm up for a deal, you know, but choosing more selectively next time, I think.
I've lived my life the way I've lived my life. I've lived my life my way. We've got to take the sweets with the sours. Every experience, everything I've done in my life, I've done, it's happened, and I won't close the curtain of it. I've had an amazing life, I've had a great life. You know, I've had the greatest highs and I've had the lowest lows. But what I've got behind me is experience, and with experience you're able to talk to people who maybe are misguided or maybe can be influenced. And rather than taking negative influences in life, I'd want to draw positivity towards them, you know? If you or anyone you know is being affected by any of the issues mentioned in this video, or if you'd like to be involved, please contact us via email, visit our website, or talk to us on social media. Links to all will be in the description.